Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson. Today we're listening to Killer in Plain Sight and he was blinded by blonde.
Brian Barrett is headed out on a hot date.
After months of talking online, he's finally going to meet his mystery girl.
But online dating has its risks.
And for Brian, the risk is life-threatening.
To solve the case, investigators must follow the clues to find the killer hiding in plain sight. On Sunday morning, September 17th, 2006, in the small city of Clarence, New York, a coworker finds Brian Barrett shot dead in his truck.
He approaches the truck and he can't believe what he sees. Brian's body is in the driver's seat.
When forensics and homicide detectives arrive on the scene, they're already at a disadvantage. It seems Brian has been dead for 2 days, meaning he was shot when he left work on Friday night.
Brian was the last one to leave Friday night, and he punched out at exactly 10:16 p.m. So there are no witnesses. He's been shot twice in the upper torso and once in the neck, but there's very little physical evidence. There's no powder residue, which you would find if the shooting happened at very close range. And there's no shell casings around the vehicle either.
Brian's parents were away on a weekend camping trip. And while they were away, Brian was supposed to feed their cat. When they get home, they find something wrong. The cat bowl is empty. This is not like him. Brian is usually so responsible.
They try to sell and get no answer. Now they're getting worried. By the time detectives show up on their doorstep, they already suspect that their son might be in danger. It's never easy to break the bad news to family members. Brian's parents are devastated at his death. They can't imagine who would have wanted to hurt their son.
He's an aspiring industrial arts teacher studying at Buffalo State College, and to make ends meet, he works part-time at a tool factory. Brian works at the tool factory with a buddy named Tom Montgomery. Aside from the job, Brian and Tom share a mutual enjoyment of online gaming sites and chat rooms. In one of the chat rooms, Tom meets a young woman calling herself Tall Hot Blonde. He checks out her profile and likes what he sees. In return, he sends her an old picture of himself at age 18 in his military uniform. The young woman's name is Jessie. She's from West Virginia. Jessie and Tom begin a relationship that quickly becomes a steamy cybersex affair.
Jessie sends Tom love letters, and she also sends him red thong underwear, which he keeps in a box in his closet.
Tom soon finds he's happier online than in his real life, and really wishes he were his 18-year-old self in love with Tall Hot Blonde.
Tom spends hours alone on his computer chatting with Jessie. He loses interest in his other activities, even old friends.
At one point, he writes himself a note. Tom ceases to exist and is replaced by an 18-year-old battle-scarred Marine who is moving to West Virginia to be with the love of his life.
This is delusional behavior. And Tom's wife, Cindy, is not impressed.
late at night and talk to her on the phone. They also reach out to authorities in West Virginia to make sure that Jesse's not in any immediate danger.
When police knock on Jessie's door, they're greeted by her mother, Mary, who says that her daughter is away.
But detectives back in Buffalo traced that phone line during that late night call. And they're certain they were speaking to Jessie at her home.
West Virginia sheriffs go back to the house, and this time her mother breaks down and confesses. Mary Sheeler is tall, hot, blonde.
In a lurid case of online adultery and deception, no one is who they seem. Beefcake and Marine Sniper both fell for an 18-year-old calling herself tall, hot, blonde. In fact, she's Mary Sheeler, a 45-year-old married mother of two in West Virginia. And now Beefcake, a.k.a. Brian Barrett, is dead.
Who killed Brian Barrett? Marine Sniper is an immediate suspect. Where does the beautiful Jessie come in? Then there's Jessie's mother. She used her daughter's image to fuel Brian and Tom's fantasies. What if the real world found out about her online escapades? Was she trying to keep Brian from talking?
It seems this murder investigation couldn't get any more bizarre. And then police find out exactly how far Mary Sheeler would go to get a little virtual excitement.
"22-year-old Brian Barrett is leaving his part-time job late one Friday evening in 2006 when he shot 3 times in his truck.
Brian was shot 3 times from a distance. This kind of pinpoint shooting through glass takes training. Brian's co-workers tell police that they believe Marine Sniper is 46-year-old factory employee Thomas Montgomery.
Brian and Tom Montgomery were once friends through work, but now they're locked in a bitter rivalry over the tall, hot blonde from West Virginia.
Now it turns out that tall, hot blonde is 45-year-old Mary Sheeler. Mary breaks down and confesses that she's not only Brian's online love interest, she's also Tom Montgomery's.
Mary is a housewife, and she's the mother of a 16-year-old daughter named Jessie, who's an outgoing softball player in Oak Hill. But Mary is incredibly bored, and she finds her life online much more exciting than her real one. She steals her daughter's identity and goes so far as to snap candid photos of her and post them for her male followers under the name Tall Hot Blonde. One of those followers is Beefcake in upstate New York. The other is Marine Sniper.
Detectives bring Tom Montgomery, a.k.a. Marine Sniper, in for questioning. He admits to his online obsession with a fantasy girl he's never met, but he denies having anything to do with Brian's shooting.
Computer forensics helped detectives map out the love triangle between Mary Sheeler, Tom Montgomery, and Brian Barrett. They can't seize Mary or Tom's computer without a warrant, so they go back into Brian's chat stream and try to find more evidence against them. When they look back on the chat stream, they see that Mary wasn't at all happy to find out that Tom was a 46-year-old man and not the 18-year-old handsome young Marine he portrayed himself to be. Mary also knew how furious Montgomery was about his rival, Brian.
There's a message from Tall Hot Blonde saying she has angered Marine Sniper, and Brian better be careful. But even with this online trail of evidence, police can't arrest Mary. Using her daughter's identity online may be morally offensive, but it's not illegal.
Detectives arrest. On November 7th, 2006, Tom Montgomery is charged with the murder of 22-year-old Brian Barrett.
After months of bitter conflict with his younger coworker and romantic rival, he is a man consumed with jealousy.
But for the detectives, the case is not yet closed. Now they try to build a case against Mary Sheeler, who's already facing real-life consequences for online actions.
Mary's daughter, Jessie, breaks all ties to her mother. She moves in with other family members while she goes to college. Mary's husband divorces her. This has been a classic case of manipulation of Montgomery by Mary Sheeler, and detectives want to see her charged.
But according to the district attorney, she didn't break any laws. Incredibly, it's only after he goes to jail that Montgomery learns that the object of his online obsession was, in fact, a 45-year-old mother of two.
Brian Barrett died, never knowing the truth about Tall Hot Blonde. He had fallen for someone who didn't even really exist.
His parents pursued civil suits against both Tom Montgomery and Mary Sheeler. But nothing comes of it, and Mary goes free.
Everyone was lying except Brian Barrett, and yet he was the one who paid the ultimate price.
In the virtual chat room, Jesse once wrote to Marine Sniper, "I love you always and forever." And Tom Montgomery replied, "I have never felt this way." Neither of them would ever feel this way again.